Jim McCullough from the Topeka Center for Peace and Justice wants to remind you, if you have moved since the last time you voted, you got to re-register. And there's someone here dressed in pink who has got a voter registration form, so you can get registered to vote right here. Again, my name is Dell-Haro, and I am speaking to you as a citizen of this state. I'm speaking to you as a pastor of a local congregation, though not on behalf of my congregation. I'm speaking to you as an ally, not despite, but because of my faith. I'm speaking as someone who grew up in a home with two moms. My family was fortunate to attend a congregation that was open and affirming. The only time I felt awkward with my moms at church was when I was attending my first Love Feast. And for those of you who don't know what Love Feast is, it's basically a worship service that reenacts the Last Supper, a Church of the Brethern tradition which includes a self-examination, feet washing, a simple meal, a bread and cup communion. And like I said, it was my first Love Feast, and I wasn't about to wash my mom's feet. Not because she was a lesbian, no, but because I was in middle school, and she was my mom. Now, Love Feast has become one of my favorite parts of my faith tradition, and I would gladly wash the feet of either of my mothers and have them wash mine. So, I wonder if we are having a conversation about how this infringes upon religious beliefs. Then what happens to my religious convictions that God celebrates diversity, and that includes gender expression? What happens to my religious convictions that God rejoices when two people fall in love and commit their lives to one another without regard to their sex or gender identity? What about my belief that Jesus started his mission and his ministry in Luke chapter 4 by returning to his hometown congregation to read from the prophet Isaiah, which says, God's blessing is coming to all. And that means it goes beyond those people who are living like they are already blessed. God's blessing is coming, and like the prophet Isaiah said, it is coming to the poor. God's blessing is coming to all people regardless of race and religion. It is coming to the wrongly condemned. What about my belief that God's blessing is coming and it prioritizes those who are oppressed and those who are pushed to the margins of society? If this thing called Christianity includes 4 Gospels, multiple versions of the good news, 4 accounts of Jesus' life, ministry, death, and resurrection, 4 accounts which occasionally are in tension with one another, 4 accounts of Jesus which are in conversation with one another. If Christianity includes 4 Gospels and 1 Holy Bible, then there is room for diversity in my faith tradition. But this is not about my religious beliefs or your religious beliefs, because Kansas is not a theocracy. Kansas, like America at its best, is a democracy. And so we have gathered here together in our various religious affiliations to rally around change in public policy. We are not talking about an issue. We are talking about people. This is not just about me and my moms. This is about your neighbors who don't want separate but equal, and sure as hell are tired of unequal. This is about your sisters and brothers and their freedom to love without being victims of hate crimes. This is about your parents and grandparents having the same legal rights as those automatically assumed in heterosexual marriages. This is about your children and grandchildren and generations to come who need a welcoming society, one that will not leave them vulnerable to discrimination or violence. This is about you. And we are talking about people. You don't have to conform to gender stereotypes to be a person. You don't have to love someone the opposite sex to be a person. You shouldn't have to live inside the closet to be a person. You don't have to be Chuck Norris to be a man, and you certainly don't have to be Mrs. Cleaver to be a woman. You don't have to be married with 2.3 children to be a person. And guess what? You don't have to be a Prius driving, NPR listening, PC policing, sorting your recyclables in a Trader Joe's tote bag hippie flower child to be a person. Oh, Kansas, it is coming. You can help facilitate its arrival. Good luck trying to resist it, whether you call it God's blessing, or the right side of history, or justice